Before we begin, I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself a question. What if at this very moment someone you cannot stop thinking about has just made a life-changing decision about you? What if the silence you've been experiencing is not the absence of movement, but the sign of something powerful unfolding behind the scenes? Most people assume that the biggest changes in life arrive with obvious signs and dramatic announcements. But the truth is far more mysterious. The most important decisions are often made in complete silence. They happen deep within the human psyche, where fears battle desires, where doubts confront truths, and where the soul finally chooses a direction it can no longer avoid. Right now, there may be a shift taking place that you cannot see, a hidden realization, an emotional breakthrough, a moment of clarity so powerful that it changes the course of two lives forever. If this message is speaking directly to your soul, take a moment to subscribe to Archangel Blessings Light. Turn on the notification bell and become part of our spiritual family, where every message is shared to inspire hope, reveal divine guidance, and help you recognize the signs the universe places in your path. Asterisk, asterisk. The person connected to you may have reached a point where denial is no longer possible, where uncertainty has lost its grip, and where a choice has emerged from the deepest part of their being. And once such a choice is made, everything begins to change. So, pay close attention, because what you are about to hear may explain why nothing will ever be the same again. A deep inner decision is unlike the choices people make every day. It is not the result of a fleeting emotion, a temporary desire, or a moment of excitement. It is born in the hidden chambers of the psyche, where experiences, emotions, memories, fears, and desires slowly interact over time. Long before a person consciously acknowledges a significant decision, fundamental changes are already taking place within them. The unconscious mind starts to collect fragments of truth, identify patterns, and unveil realities that were previously overlooked or misunderstood. What may seem to others as an instantaneous realization is often the culmination of a process that has been surreptitiously developing for months or even years. In the context of a soulmate connection, this internal decision becomes particularly impactful as it arises from a depth that transcends mere logic. An individual may spend extensive time justifying their feelings away, convincing themselves that the bond is impractical, inconvenient, or unattainable. They may become preoccupied with logistical issues such as distance, timing, or past disappointments. Yet, beneath these rationalizations, the emotional truth persists, growing stronger the more it is suppressed. Eventually, the dissonance between conscious beliefs and unconscious emotions becomes too pronounced to ignore. This marks the beginning of transformation, as the individual starts to notice signs they had previously dismissed. They reflect on moments that once seemed trivial, transforming conversations, memories, emotions, and interactions into sources of new significance. The connection, once relegated to the background, begins to demand attention, prompting them to confront rather than flee from their feelings. This confrontation is not always comfortable. It often necessitates facing profound fears, such as the fear of rejection, vulnerability, change, and losing control. Nonetheless, each fear that surfaces offers an opportunity for growth. As they scrutinize these fears, they differentiate between beliefs that empower them and those that confine them. Old emotional defenses begin to erode, and protective barriers that once felt essential are revealed as obstacles. The realization dawns that evading the truth has not yielded peace, but merely prolonged inner turmoil. This recognition fosters the conditions for a significant internal shift. The decisive moment occurs when the inner strength of the soul surpasses the resistance. At this juncture, the individual no longer seeks constant validation or reassurance. They cease the inner arguments and stop searching for excuses to deny their feelings. Rather, They enter a phase of acceptance that acknowledges a truth no longer easy to dismiss. Although not every question may be resolved or every obstacle overcome, they recognize this newfound awareness. The struggle between the heart and mind begins to diminish, leading to a clearer perspective. The significance of this decision lies in its ability to redirect a person's energy. Thoughts, emotions, and intentions align, rather than contradict. While outward actions may take time to manifest, the foundational shift has already occurred. The individual is no longer at a crossroads, but has quietly made a choice within themselves, and their journey unfolds in a markedly different direction from that moment onward. The cessation of internal conflict constitutes one of the most profound psychological transformations an individual can experience. For a substantial period, they may feel torn between opposing thoughts, emotions, and desires. One aspect urges them to advance, embrace their feelings, and accept what their heart intuitively knows, while another layer engenders doubts, fears, and endless questions. This internal conflict can wane for months or even years, silently draining emotional energy and creating an inexplicable sense of restlessness. In soulmate connections, this discord often intensifies as the emotions involved delve deeper into the psyche. Such connections reveal hidden fears, unresolved wounds, and unconscious patterns. An individual might feel a compelling attraction to someone while simultaneously fearing the implications of that connection. They may yearn for closeness, but dread vulnerability, dreaming of a shared future, yet rationalizing that such aspirations are unlikely. These opposing forces evoke a psychological tug-of-war that leaves them ensnared between action and indecision. The mind frequently plays a pivotal role in perpetuating this conflict, seeking certainty, control, and a shield from possible pain. Whenever potent emotions surface, the mind launches into generating justifications and objections, scrutinizing every detail, questioning every sensation, and searching for reasons to dismiss these emotions. This cycle of overthinking can become relentless, as the individual meticulously revisits the same questions in hopes of finding an answer that restores peace. Nevertheless, heightened analysis often leads to increased confusion. In the meantime, the deeper self consistently sends signals that signify the need for attention. Certain thoughts resurface, particular memories remain poignant despite time's passage, and emotional reactions resonate more profoundly than logic may suggest. Regardless of how much one attempts to dismiss the connection it endures, these recurring experiences gradually erode the illusion that avoidance can resolve the conflict. The person comes to understand that the struggle itself is the source of their discomfort. As awareness expands, a vital shift occurs. Rather than resisting their emotions, they begin to observe them. Instead of reflexively rejecting their feelings, they cultivate curiosity towards them. This shift in perspective allows hidden truths to surface, revealing that many of their fears are rooted in past experiences, earlier disappointments, or inherited beliefs about love and relationships. Emotional barriers, which previously seemed unyielding, gradually reveal themselves as protective mechanisms, not absolute truths. With this insight comes a gradual alleviation of tension. The individual no longer feels compelled to choose between their heart and mind. They recognize that both parts strive to guide them in different ways. The heart seeks authenticity and connection, while the mind prioritizes safety and stability. When these two forces cease to contest and learn to cooperate, a profound sense of inner harmony emerges. Thoughts clarify, emotions become more comprehensible, and decisions no longer appear insurmountable. The cessation of internal conflict does not imply that every challenge has vanished. The transformation occurs when an individual ceases to resist their own truth, embracing their feelings without incessantly judging or questioning them. The energy previously spent on doubt, fear, and emotional resistance is redirected towards personal growth, understanding, and progress. Confusion evolves into clarity, and the internal struggles of the psyche develop into a space characterized by greater balance, awareness, and emotional tranquility. The power of the unconscious mind is a profoundly mysterious and impactful force in human experience. Although individuals often believe they are primarily guided by conscious thoughts and deliberate choices, a significant portion of their emotional lives operates beneath the realm of awareness. Hidden memories, unexpressed desires, unresolved feelings, forgotten experiences, and deeply embedded beliefs continue to shape perceptions and behavior long after they fade from conscious thought. The unconscious mind acts as an invisible undercurrent in the ocean, subtly steering thoughts, feelings, and decisions without consistently revealing its influence. In the realm of deep emotional connections, the impact of the unconscious is particularly significant. A soulmate bond often penetrates psychological layers that ordinary relationships may never access, stimulating emotional patterns, awakening dormant aspects of one's personality, and bringing hidden truths closer to the surface. An individual may not fully comprehend the depth of their attraction to another person, yet the unconscious mind discerns meanings and associations that the conscious mind has yet to recognize. This dynamic creates a powerful internal experience where emotions manifest before logical explanations emerge. The unconscious communicates subtly, utilizing recurring thoughts, vivid dreams, emotional responses, intuition, symbolic experiences, and persistent feelings that resist fading into the background. For example, one might find themselves preoccupied with thoughts of someone while attempting to focus on other matters. Certain memories might resurface with unexpected intensity. Dreams could become more frequent or charged with emotion, and symbols or scenarios tied to a specific person might appear recurrently in daily life. Such occurrences often signal an unconscious effort to bring vital information to the forefront of consciousness. Many individuals initially resist these messages as they challenge established beliefs or comfortable assumptions. The conscious mind typically favors certainty, predictability, and control, seeking clear explanations and tangible evidence. However, the unconscious is concerned with more profound psychological truths, prioritizing authenticity over mere appearances. When the unconscious identifies something meaningful, it continues to present signals until it garners attention. The more an individual disregards these signs, the more persistent they often become, as this persistence is deliberate. The unconscious strives for psychological balance and wholeness. When significant emotions are suppressed, they do not vanish but remain active beneath awareness, subtly influencing behavior. A person may find themselves comparing others to someone they cannot forget, feeling dissatisfied with once acceptable situations, or experiencing emotional reactions that seem disproportionate to the current circumstances. Such responses often indicate that deeper issues are attempting to emerge into conscious thought. As this process unfolds, hidden fears may also surface. The unconscious does not merely disclose desires and hopes, it also reveals insecurities, vulnerabilities, and unresolved wounds. Fears of abandonment, rejection, intimacy, and change may become more prominent. While this can be uncomfortable, it serves a crucial psychological purpose. These fears must be acknowledged before authentic growth can transpire. Concealed emotions continue to exert influence until they are brought to light and transformed through understanding. Gradually, the unconscious reshapes one's self-perception and relationships. Insights emerge with enhanced clarity, with emotional truths that once seemed confusing becoming easier to identify. Internal contradictions dissolve as awareness broadens. A person may grow less reliant on external validation, learning to trust what they discover within themselves. The unconscious fulfills its role by illuminating hidden realities, enabling deeper comprehension, emotional integration, and a more authentic relationship with oneself and the connections that cannot be ignored. A shift in destiny rarely manifests as a sudden, dramatic event that alters everything in an instant. Instead, it often begins as a subtle movement within the psyche, where old patterns lose their influence and new possibilities begin to form. Many envision destiny as fixed, predetermined, and entirely beyond their control. However, destiny frequently unfolds through a series of choices, realizations, and inner transformations that gradually redirect an individual's life. When a soulmate connection enters this process, the shift may feel particularly profound as it engages the deepest facets of identity, purpose, and emotional growth. There are phases in life when a person follows a path that feels familiar and predictable, their routines, beliefs, and expectations providing a sense of stability. Even in the absence of complete fulfillment, they understand the framework of their world. Then, an unexpected element challenges this structure. A connection arises that resists easy explanation. Thoughts intensify, emotions deepen, and questions emerge that were never contemplated before. Certainties that once felt solid begin to waver. Initially, one might resist this disruption. Human beings inherently seek comfort in familiarity. Change necessitates abandoning old assumptions and stepping into the unknown, prompting the mind to preserve the existing path by sowing seeds of doubt, distractions, or rational justifications. Yet, despite these efforts, the connection persists, increasingly difficult to ignore, as something foundational has already shifted within. This is where the concept of a shift in destiny begins to materialize. The individual transcends the confines of habitual behavior, societal expectations, and external influences, responding instead to a profound inner urge. This marks a shift in priorities, where previously significant concerns diminish in importance and aspects tied to emotional authenticity and personal development gain prominence. As the individual becomes attuned to this new understanding, the trajectory of their life begins to adjust accordingly. Often, a soulmate connection serves as a pivotal force in this metamorphosis, reflecting unacknowledged facets of the self. It reveals both untapped strengths and neglected weaknesses, prompting introspection and urging the person to cultivate a greater awareness of their choices. As they navigate this journey, the individual realizes that their future does not merely replicate their past. Fresh possibilities arise, previously obscured by an outdated worldview. With an expanding awareness, opportunities for transformation present themselves unexpectedly, leading to new discussions, different decisions, and the gradual dissolution of emotional barriers. Situations that once felt immutable begin to shift, and the person may notice synchronistic events, recurring motifs, or circumstances that steer them toward a specific path. Regardless of whether these occurrences are interpreted as psychological patterns or spiritual signs, they contribute to an emerging sense that life is ushering in a new chapter. This transformational shift is particularly impactful, affecting not only external conditions, but also the person's relationship with themselves. They start to clarify their desires and express their emotions more honestly, moving away from the constraints of fear and social norms toward what genuinely resonates with their inner truth. Such alignment fosters momentum, allowing decisions to be guided by authenticity rather than confusion. As the process unfolds, the previous path gradually relinquishes its grip. The individual recalls who they once were, yet finds that a return to that former self is no longer possible. Their perspective has evolved, and their understanding of connection has deepened. This change in destiny transcends merely achieving a specific outcome, Rather, it embodies becoming a person capable of traversing an alternative path defined by heightened consciousness, emotional honesty, and a readiness to heed the deeper currents of the soul. Embracing transformation through acceptance represents one of the most profound experiences, as it compels individuals to confront realities they may have been avoiding. Many mistakenly believe that true transformation requires struggle or tireless effort. While diligence undoubtedly plays a role in personal growth, genuine transformation often begins when one ceases to resist their inner truth. Acceptance does not equate to surrendering to weakness or relinquishing control. Instead, it involves acknowledging a truth as it stands, without denial or distortion. In the context of a soulmate connection, acceptance holds particular significance, as such bonds often evoke complex emotions. A person may spend considerable time resisting their feelings, convincing themselves that the connection is trivial, fleeting, or a mere product of imagination. They may focus on external challenges or past disappointments to shield themselves from the unknown. Nevertheless, the emotional reality persists below the surface. The more they resist genuine feelings, the greater the energy expended in maintaining that resistance, leading to inner tension, repetitive thoughts, and confusion. The individual may feel trapped between their actual experiences and what they believe should be occurring. This internal conflict can become increasingly exhausting as the psyche attempts to reconcile two opposing realities, one that reflects true emotions and another shaped by self-imposed narratives. Acceptance dawns when the person honestly acknowledges this contradiction, prompting a shift from seeking to eliminate feelings to exploring what those feelings attempt to convey. Rather than viewing emotions as problems needing solutions, they begin to see them as messages to be understood. This transformative shift facilitates psychological growth, revealing hidden fears, assumptions, and beliefs. The realization dawns that much of their resistance was not directed at the connection itself, but at the vulnerability and uncertainty it brings. As awareness deepens, old defenses weaken, and protective behaviors that once felt essential begin to seem outdated. The individual comes to understand how much of their conduct has been influenced by fear rather than truth. Fear of rejection may have stifled openness. Fear of disappointment may have led to emotional detachment, and fear of change may have induced hesitation in significant decision-making. While acceptance does not eliminate these fears entirely, it liberates them from the shadows. This journey also redefines the individual's relationship with uncertainty. Prior to acceptance, uncertainty can feel threatening as it signifies a lack of control. After acceptance, it becomes more tolerable as the person relinquishes the need to dictate a specific outcome. They recognize that acknowledging their feelings does not necessitate an understanding of how every future event will unfold. What truly matters is being honest about the present moment. As this inner transformation persists, emotional energy previously consumed by resistance becomes available for growth, clarity, and self-discovery. The individual experiences a lighter state of being, no longer burdened by the denial of their own experience. They evolve into a more authentic expression of their thoughts and actions, with decisions reflecting their true selves rather than adhering to external expectations. Through acceptance, transformation unfolds naturally, leading to deeper self-awareness, emotional maturity, and a heightened connection to the truths that have long resided beneath the surface of consciousness. The phase of irreversible momentum occurs when inner transformation has progressed to such an extent that reverting to old patterns of thought and behavior becomes increasingly elusive. This stage extends beyond decision-making. It signifies a shift whereby the entire psychological landscape begins to evolve in a new direction. Before arriving at this juncture, individuals may find themselves oscillating between various possibilities, advancing one day and retreating the next. They may acknowledge their feelings only to question them again, resulting in a sense of stagnation as they grapple with conflicting forces. Periods of uncertainty ultimately contribute to a broader journey of growth. Each emotional insight, moment of introspection, and confrontation with underlying truths gradually accumulate in our psyche. Initially, these experiences may appear disjointed, but over time, they start to weave a cohesive narrative. The individual begins to connect ideas, feelings, and realizations that previously seemed unrelated. Confusion is gradually replaced by clarity. As this awareness expands, psychological momentum builds, an unstoppable force when an individual reaches a level of understanding that transforms their self-perception and sense of connection. Although they may still grapple with fears, doubts, or practical concerns, these no longer wield the same influence as before. The essence of a deeper truth strengthens, overshadowing previous resistance. Attempts to revert to old beliefs will seem unconvincing, as the mind may revisit familiar arguments, but the heart acknowledges a significant shift has occurred. In a soulmate connection, this momentum often flourishes, as the bond consistently fosters personal growth and self-discovery. The individual starts to see how much they have evolved since the connection began. Their emotional awareness deepens, and their understanding of relationships matures. Aspects of their identity that were once concealed begin to surface, leading to an internal reality that is not easily reversible. The individual is transformed, no longer resembling the person they were at the start of this journey. A crucial element of this irrevocable momentum is its impact on both conscious and unconscious thought. Deliberately, the individual may identify new priorities and desires, while unconsciously, outdated patterns lose their grip. Responses that once felt instinctive become more open to scrutiny, and emotional defenses that operated beneath awareness become apparent. As these changes take root, the individual's behavior begins to align with their newfound understanding. This momentum instills a sense of inevitability, not in the sense that every outcome is predestined, but rather that personal growth is unassailable. Once one gains a deeper awareness of their emotions, motivations, and inner truths, they cannot revert to the ignorance of the past. Knowledge transforms perception, and altered perceptions influence behavior. Each insight becomes part of the foundation for future choices. As momentum builds, opportunities, decisions, and circumstances may begin to resonate with the individual's internal transformation. The path of progress may not always be swift or predictable, with potential delays and challenges along the way. Yet, beneath these temporary hurdles, a deeper process continues to unfold. The individual has passed a significant psychological threshold, where growth is no longer a possibility to contemplate but a reality in motion, guiding them toward greater authenticity and alignment with the truths they have chosen to accept. As we conclude this reflection, it is vital to note that profound transformations often originate from within rather than the external world. An essential inner decision has been made, leading to the diminishing of inner conflict and the emergence of concealed truths. The trajectory of their destiny is realigning as acceptance fosters transformation and powerful momentum propels events forward. These occurrences are not random. They signify profound psychological and spiritual growth occurring beneath the surface. If this message resonates with you, consider it an encouragement to trust your own journey. Do not let fear, doubt, or impatience divert you from the lessons that this chapter offers. Every significant connection teaches us about ourselves, while every challenge presents a chance to grow in consciousness, authenticity, and emotional wholeness. The path ahead may not unveil itself immediately, but clarity often graces those who remain patient, mindful, and open to growth. What is destined to unfold will reveal itself in its rightful time. Progress onward with courage, wisdom, and faith in the guiding forces of your journey. I appreciate your engagement with these ideas and your willingness to explore life's deeper dimensions. I wish you peace within, clarity of thought, strength through uncertainty, and confidence as you navigate toward your future. May the answers you seek find their way to you, illuminating your path with each step and guiding you closer to the life and connections you are meant to experience. Best of luck on your journey. Take care of yourself, and remember that every conclusion often marks the beginning of something even greater waiting to emerge.